Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're taking this Linkswell T-Style 16-inch touchscreen and we're upgrading my infotainment and my 2500 RAM. Check it out. All right, so let's just do a small bit about why I'm upgrading my infotainment system. Where I'm at now, I've got the basic touchscreen from Uconnect. It's like a 5-inch screen. It's not integrated with anything except Bluetooth. So I have a Bluetooth and satellite radio, and that is it. I have a compass for whatever that's worth, and I can stream media audio from my cell phone, but I can't see my maps. I have no CarPlay, so I purchased this unit. This is a very small touchscreen system that allows me to have Apple CarPlay, but this is very small, it's very cheap, it has speakers, which I think is probably the worst feature of it because it Bluetooths to my car. So if I select it as a source here, the speakers still try to take over. So if I'm on a call, it's constantly jumping between my car and this, and then back to my phone, and then back, and then this. So I've got to always fight with who has the priority on the Bluetooth. But this is very laggy, it's very small, and it's glitchy. I mean, it's very bad. So, but I have to keep it here because the mount keeps breaking. So I lose some of my gauges, which is not ideal. And if I took the time, I could surely make a mount or something for it. But this is what my system looks like. And then my phone mounts over here on a magnet mount because I don't get all my info I need out of this. So I have to then still use my phone, which I'm trying to get away from. So this new T-setup, T-like screen that I'm getting from Linkswell is going to solve all these issues, I'm hoping. So we're going to get into it right now. We're going to break everything apart and we're going to dive into this install, and we're going to leave permissions to add cameras later because we want to put cameras all around the truck, and for when we have a trailer in the back, we want to be able to look at that too. So I got spoiled by that Rebel Ram that I test drove and had as a demo for a little while. So yeah, it's time to upgrade. Let's get into it, guys. All right, we're at the workbench now, and we're gonna do a little bit of an unboxing of everything we got. So this here is an optional part, their input for cameras. If you have a system in your truck that is a forward camera, back camera, or like a cargo camera, you're gonna need this anyway to be able to switch between inputs, or you're just gonna have to pick one that you want when you put it in reverse. This allows you to have an interface to select between multiple cameras. This is a protection screen for the actual glass that is on the Linkswell unit. So definitely invest in one of those. Protects your investment on the rest of this. First looks, the packaging on this looks really awesome. I love companies that print on the entire box. That just looks really nice. These are our bezel fitments. This comes packed with 2 different types of bezels. One for if your Dodge Ram has a full center console, and one that just has a flip-up buddy seat. So ours has a flip-up buddy seat in the middle, so we're going to use that one. Warranty card, all right here. All their instructions are online. They have tons of videos of installs and everything like that. This is the bezel with the armrest. This is the bezel without armrest, which is one we're going to need because I don't have armrest. I mean, technically it's an armrest because the seat folds down, but this is the one we're going to use. It's number 1. All right, box of cables, antennas, modules, all right here. The unit itself. So this is the actual head unit. You can see there, it's the module there, and then the full screen on the front. This does delete the climate controls in the bottom. It makes it all digital, which is really nice. I like the look of that. Yeah, I mean, first glance, the build quality is really, really nice. All the cables are really heavy gauge, which is nice. If dare I say, it's better than factory aesthetic, that's for sure. But that's it. It's a pretty simple unboxing because that is the end of the box. So we've got everything we need now. The next step is taking apart what's in the truck and replacing it with this. Let's get to it. All right, we can get rid of this because we're no longer going to need to use this system. All right, 2 screws at the top. Got those out already. Put that at the top here.
T15s.
T15s. Okay. All right, guys, this part is pretty straightforward. You want to remove the bezel, disconnect all the cables. Make sure you don't break any of the clips because some of them can be a little tough, but they are fragile. Remove the head unit, get that disconnected, and try to just keep note of what cables went where. All right, with the head unit out, we went and looked at all the cables that came with the Linkswell unit. Every cable is labeled individually and lets you know where it needs to be installed. All right, we are taking the vents off the factory unit, moving them over to the new unit over here. Trying to be very delicate as to not break anything. So this part, you just need to take the vents out of the original dash shroud, click them into this new one provided by Linkswell. Again, these are all plastic clips, so just be careful not to break anything. Use the screws from the factory unit to install them into this one. And then once you get the top vents in, you can install the side bezels that match your center console that are provided with this Linkswell unit. So you got little tiny screws that hold the proper faceplate on, and that gives you your mounting hardware to put these lower brackets and the shifter on. You want to make sure you get all of these plastic clips off of the old bezel. We'll go up the sides here. The new one does not come with those, so you want to make sure you save those over here and don't break them. That's why my dad is doing it and not me, because I will break it. So, still putting in the screws here for the fascia. We inserted the hazard button here, which I do believe hooks up to this guy here, which now has your hazard lights all integrated. And then finish these screws, and then I can put the 4-wheel drive indicator in, and then plug in my trailer brake controller, traction control, and all that. So, rest of the screws. Yeah, that's good. That's going to fit in there nicely. Okay. So what we just did is we took this pocket on this side, because I don't have an outlet or anything like that on this side. It's just a useless pocket. I don't have the 4G, 5G SIM card yet, but I might add it later. So we just cut a hole in the top of the pocket so that this can sit inside there once it's in the dash, and we can get to it at a later date without having to take the whole dash back out. So that's going to work out nicely. All right, now I'll put the shifter back in. Make sure it's nice and seated. All right, so here's just more of the same. We're just finishing installing all of the pieces and parts that need to go into this bezel. It's kind of just working backwards from how you took it apart off the factory bezel, because everything lines up the same. So just get your screws in, make sure you're not over tightening them, because this stuff will crack. It's only plastic. This part is pretty straightforward. We're just going through the provided harness, reading the label, and connecting it where it says it should be connected. They made this part super simple. As long as you follow the labels, go through it one by one and connect everything up. They have an incredible video on their YouTube channel, which I'll link in the description, that we kept referencing throughout this, just to make sure we're on the right track. Now, this next part was the most time-consuming part of the install for us, trying to fit all of those harnesses and cables into the little opening for the head unit that came with this. Now, we could not get it to fit with all the cables plugged into the back. We got very close and it clicked, but it just felt very tight. So what I opted to do was remove the head unit and actually trim out the plastic around the factory opening inside the dash. Once I trimmed out the bottom lip, this fit perfectly and clicked right in. So as you can see, we've got the touchscreen all set up from Linkswell. I don't know that I've seen a head unit look this nice in a vehicle before, but this one looks incredible. It looks like it's supposed to be there. It's nice and bright even in the daylight, which is really cool. It's still learning. As you know, it is a computer, so the operating system is still learning the operations of everything. Let's go here, follow me. I just love it. I love the big screen. I love how easy it is to use. It's very fast, very quick. I was a little afraid of losing my climate control down here. My truck had the 3 manual knobs for climate control and position. But quick swipe here and you're right into climate. Quick push gives you temperature. Another push gives you your fan speed. So I was pleasantly surprised when I found that. That made me feel okay with switching over to all this digital stuff. So CarPlay, it's ginormous. I love it. Huge interface for it. Normal interface here, you can see what you're playing. If you've got CarPlay, you know exactly how it works. So I won't bore you with any more than that. We go home. This is the home screen for the truck and this head unit. It shows you pitch, roll, your navigation, your compass up top. I think there's some calibration needing to be done because apparently I'm doing wheelies down the highway. So gotta play with that a little bit. And that might just be something that needs to happen as I drive around. I like to listen to podcasts on YouTube and or Netflix while I drive. So having that interface here would be fantastic. I still have the plastic protection screen on it because I have a glass screen protector here. I haven't put on yet. Preloaded apps that you can get into. Here's all the other behind the scenes apps that you can use. I haven't logged into the Play Store or installed anything on this yet, so I'm still working on it here. My phone has a hotspot, so I'm pretty sure I can connect my hotspot to this and use internet that way. So I might do that a little later. But for right now, I'm just trying to get used to the operation as is. So there's our cameras. Let's do a rear view camera. I can now look at my rear view camera while I drive, which if anyone who has a Mopar knows, you cannot do that most of the time, especially in this generation truck. You cannot look at your rear view camera while you drive. It's just a feature that doesn't exist. But now I have it. So I do like the movement of the hazard parking situation. Got it right up here now, which is really nice. It was down here and, you know, it's about the same reach, but this is more line of sight, so my hand stays closer to the steering wheel, especially in an emergency, so that's nice. Overall, I'm really excited with this. I have a lot to learn about it, so I'm going to be spending a lot of time researching, watching some videos, and reprogramming the dash a little bit, because there's definitely some things that I don't have set that I really want to have set on here. So videos, I can get my Gmail on here, a lot of things. This thing will do just pretty much anything I need. So I did run my cables through here for my USB and the SIM card for when I do eventually add a SIM card element to this. That's all I got for you right now. We will check out some other features. I'll do some B-roll and we'll wrap up. Just out here in my truck, watching Netflix. Bong.
Days. And then there are legendary bad days. This was shaping up to be one of those.
Well, maybe I want to go to YouTube instead. See what's happening on YouTube.
What is he playing? It's my favorite little banger.